In any community, the visual and performing arts are an essential path to creative expression and culture. In a rural community, where funding can be difficult, it takes the commitment of dedicated people with a vision to ensure that the arts flourish and thrive. In the small town of Sutton, West Virginia, the Landmark Theater is doing just that for the performing arts. It has provided a home for a small community theater group, and through the vision and patience of its artistic director, Jim Walker, it is keeping the arts alive.
My good friend Bill Hopen, who's a sculptor, he and I Bill was also part of our theater group at the time, and we were tired of going to the community building or to the high school gym floor. And we'd sit out on the steps and they'd say, you know, this really could be a good place to do art and theater. The building was built in 1897, so it needed major work when we got the building. We built a stage and got some lights in here. Through the years, we've had a boulder roll off the hill and came through the back of the wall during, it was opening, right before the opening of Streetcar Named Desire. And I incorporated it into the set, the hole in the wall. So there, you know, one thing gets fixed, another thing has happened, and that's sort of the history of the plays for us. I had no background, no training. In probably 1980, I was asked to help another teacher at Braxton County High School, who was the theater instructor. And I said, okay, I'll help you out. And I did. 2 years later, I found myself the director of the high school theater program.
One of Jim's main talents is being able to look at a performance on stage that's perhaps by a very inexperienced actor, a very raw talent, and being able to pull out of them what is needed by the show and by the script. And that's something that not a lot of directors can do. And like I said, Jim is just an expert at that, seeing how to approach, you know, what to say to this actor to bring out that moment that needs to happen at that.
It's no to both!
You have a pact with France.
Then damn the document and damn the French! She'll never marry, not while I'm alive.
Well, your life and never are two separate times.
Not on my clock, boy.
He does have that ability to pull out things that you didn't know were there somehow. And it's kind of miraculous when you watch it happen.
Fire!
You first, old man. I only hope I'm there to watch. You're so
Poor
scared of
Elma,
dying.
she should have lied.
Oh, she did.
Oh.
She said she never loved your father.
I can always count on you.
I never touched you without thinking, Jeffrey.
When you hurt me, I'll cry out.
Oh, I put more horns on you than Louis ever wore.
Am I supposed to care?
Kill you if you leave me.
You can try.
Oh, I loved your father's body. He was beautiful.
It never happened.
I see his body now.
Eleanor, I hope you die.
His arms were rough with stone.
Stop it!
Oh, I feel his
Die!
arms. I feel it. What's that? Have I hurt you?
Oh my God. I'm going to be sick.
He did it! You were in the next room when he did it!
Just starting out, not knowing anything, truly, and having to read about it, experience it, it truly was guerrilla theater.
Oh man, yeah, the mayor. He's always doing something else.
The mayor wearing my Plantagenet tie for him.
I'm really anxious, but we've been working on our lines quite a bit, so my heart's throbbing right now. I couldn't really concentrate in school. My girlfriend kind of got a little distracted with me because I really couldn't pay too much attention because I was trying to go down on my lines to make sure I had them. But, oh, it's just complete adrenaline. I'm really excited about doing this. It's really nice production and with professional actors. It's really an honor to be with them, and it's really cool.
We've almost, I think, can become regional in the sense that what we do here, for example, The Lion in Winter is a perfect example. The Lion in Winter, most of the people you'll see in the audience are not from Braxton County, quite frankly. They'll come from Charleston, they'll come from Clarksburg, they'll come from other areas because of the nature of this play. I saw it in Clarksburg. I hadn't seen it. And I saw Lydia and Greg, and I thought, when I saw it there, I thought, wow, what a show that would be to bring to our theater because of the intimacy that we have here. Here, they're right on the audience, and I thought, this is a great show, and it's well written.
It's an extremely well written play, and the words and the language are like music to me. Now that I've said the lines so many times, I can entertain myself driving down the highway saying these lines.
I want to die.
Stop saying that. Let me do something, damn you. This is terrible.
Henry, I want to die.
Well, you will, you know. Just wait long enough and it'll happen.
The theater that we've performed in before was the Robert C. Byrd Theater in Clarksburg. It seats 675. We never filled it up. The stage is huge, so we had enormous amount of space to walk from one person to another when we were on that stage. Unlike here, we're very cramped as far as the stage goes, but the intimacy of the energy of the audience to the stage is a lot nicer. And I would find too the audiences here are picking up on more of the nuances and the humor than the audience in Clarksburg did, simply because they're so close, they can see all the facial expressions a lot better.
Part of my duties teaching at the college level was to adjudicate high school productions and community theater productions at the state festival here in the state. So I've kind of known Jim through his work for years because he's been bringing high school productions to the West Virginia Theater Conference for years and community theater productions. And I always looked forward to seeing his plays. And so it's been kind of, again, on my list of things to do before I die is working with Jim Walker. So it was really nice to get the opportunity to do that here.
Most of these people outside of the two leads, they are local people. In fact, I think all but maybe one are former students in my program at the high schools.
I done my first play when I was 9, and I done Dr. Dolittle here at the Landmark, and it was just a lot of fun. I had a whole lot of fun doing it, and I didn't do another play until I got into high school, and I was a freshman, and at our high school it was really important at that time to everything was cliques, you know, and I was part of this. I played football and I wrestled, and I was part of this clique.
I started with Jim Walker in high school, and he's amazing working with high school students. I was terrified of my own skin in high school. I worked primarily behind the stage just to be a part of this group that was so much like a family, and didn't actually get on stage in any kind of major role. I'd had a few, 4 lines here, 5 lines here. Didn't actually get on stage in a major role until I returned to Sutton about 3 years ago. And Jim called me and said, I have a role if you think you can handle it. And I said, well, I would love to try. What is it? He said, are you familiar with Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf? Scared me half to death. I played Honey, and I don't think I was ever more afraid of anything. But we worked for months to get that show ready. So by the time it opened, I felt more comfortable.
And I got started working with Mr. Walker, and it just really changed my life. I went from this just caring individual of what everybody thought about me to just really, I guess it taught me the finer things in life.
Queen Eleanor, you're great.
My lord, welcome to Chinon.
Sir.
Your grievances, as we have understood them, have to do with the Princess Alice and her dowry.
16 years ago, you made a treaty with us. It's time its terms were executed.
We are willing to discuss it.
Our position comes to this. Either hold the marriage or return the vexen. Richard marries Alice, or we'll have our county back at once.
Well, that's clear, concise, and well stated. My position is, well, frankly, Philip, it's a tangle. See, once I'm dead, who's to be king? I could draw up papers till my scribes drop and the ink runs out. And once I've died, unless I've left behind me 3 contented sons, my land split 3 ways in civil war. Do you see my problem?
Clearly, but it's yours, not mine.
I started theater in high school. I was a freshman. I just moved back from Ohio. I didn't have any friends. I didn't know anybody I knew. And so I would just kind of wander the halls, like during lunch, you know, just by myself. And Jim came to me one day, like I said, the end of my freshman year, and he asked me, you know, I see you around, I don't see you with any friends, you know. He came real blunt and honest with me, actually. It was almost hurtful, but it made sense. And he asked me if I wanted to be in a play. It got me involved with some people, and I met a lot of lifelong friends, a lot of people I still keep in contact with. He said 6 weeks. It wasn't much time. It was a huge show, you know, with these amazing lines like, I know you know, I know you know, I know. My lines were just unreal.
Not as nice as being king.
We've made you Duke of Brittany. Is that so little?
No one ever thinks of crowns and mentions Jeff. Why is that? I make out 3 prizes here. A throne, a princess, and the Aquitaine. 3 prizes and 3 sons. But no one ever says, here, Jeff boy, here's a bone for you.
I should have thought that being Chancellor was a satisfying bone.
It's not the power I feel deprived of. It's the mention that I miss. There is no affection for me here. You wouldn't think I would want that, would you?
My actual full name is actually William Marion Keffer III. You know, delinquent kids, and you know, and I was failing, and I was delinquent. I mean, seriously, I was always in trouble. So I actually had an interview with Jim, and I begged and pleaded for a good half hour to let me be involved with his program, and he finally just looked at me and kind of nodded his head and said, all right, you know, all the other teachers are telling me not to take a chance on you, but all right. And then the next year it was just, I don't know, it just went from there. He finally seen something in me and went, wow. And then I seen something in him and went, wow. And here we are today.
How many battles did I watch?
Those were battles, not a knife behind a door.
I never heard a corpse ask how it got so cold. Well, you've got to mind. You tell me what was on it when you had your soldiers point their crossbows at you.
It was in the field.
Oh, I don't care if it was in the dying bed. What were you thinking, Eleanor?
Of you.
Of your unnatural animal.
I did it all for you.
You wanted Father dead.
No, never that.
You tried to kill him, didn't you?
Yes.
What? What did you want?
I wanted Henry back.
You lie.
Over the years, my hunches were validated because here he is, you know, and he's here, he's surviving, and he's one of those people that probably won't leave this community. And now he's giving back.
There are some directors who can exploit talent that's already there, but he's one that develops the talent.
Jim had really worked with me. I came onto that show absolutely green. I had all of these terrible little habits of looking in the audience or not staying in character. And Jim worked with me until I was okay. And now I've done numerous shows since then and feel much more comfortable on stage.
Alice, I don't plan to give you up. I don't plan to give up anything. Oh, I'll make alliances and bargains, threaten, beg, break heads and hearts. And when I'm done, I'll make an heir of John, a petty prince of Richard, and I'll still have you.
When can I believe you, Henry?
Always, even when I lie.
And how much is it safe to hope for?
Everything.
But with so many enemies.
I know, and some of them are smarter folk than I, or crueler, or more ruthless, or dishonest. But not all rolled in one.
My name's Kevin Wesley Carpenter. I can basically see my house from the landmark. I don't live that far away. I've pretty much lived in the same house all my life. When I was 6 years old, I done Dr. Dolittle, and it was just a great experience because of the cast and just, you know, all the girls thought I was cute since I had to be a rabbit. It was great. I've always loved acting, and it just basically took me to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, and eventually The Lion and Winter.
Oh, you're a good boy.
Can I go now, please? It's late. I ought to be...
You fool!
Me? What did I do?
Couldn't you wait? Couldn't you trust me? It was all yours. Couldn't you believe that?
Oh, will you listen to the grief?
Who do you think I built this kingdom for?
Me? Daddy did it all for me. But when can I have it, Daddy? Not until we bury you.
You're just like them. And after all I've given you.
I got it. I know what you gave.
I loved you.
You're a cold bloody bastard, you are, and you don't love anything.
Are we ready?
My favorite part of the whole process of putting a show together is the rehearsal process, because that's where the creativity comes in. I wish we had had much more time to work together, because Jim's insights into character and just how the peaks and the valleys of a scene go together, they're just fantastic.
I've been doing plays directed by Jim Walker for over 10 years now. 1993 was the first play I did under his direction when he came to Clarksburg to direct a play. And you always learn something new when you work with Jim. About yourself, about the show you're in, about your limits, about what you thought were your limits, but they're not. I can read a script and I can say, well, okay, that's nice. And Jim will read the script and he's got this vision of exactly what's going to happen and where and how it pictorially is going to be when it's actually done. And I think that's a mark of a great director, is to be able to have that vision.
It's exhilarating and intimidating at the same time working with them. Professional actors, and then this is the first adult-orientated play that I've been with, sophisticated comedy. But it was an honor. It was intimidating. It was just great. You felt like they supported you in whatever way they could, and it was just good, like your family for a while.
I knew Lydia through the Landmark in previous years. I've never met Greg before, but I knew some things about him, and I found it slightly intimidating. And once I've met them, they were so personable, and really, they would help you out. You know, some things that I was unsure about. For the accent, for instance, Greg really helped me with that. I've never used one before. So it turned out to be wonderful to work with them.
Secrets, Eleanor and I. How can you possibly betray me?
I could give away your plans.
You don't know what they are.
I know you want to disinherit Richard.
Well, so does Eleanor. She knows young Henry's dead. The young king died in summer, and I haven't named an heir. She knows I want John on the throne, and I know she wants Richard. We're very frank about it.
Henry, I can't be your mistress if I'm married to your son.
Oh, why can't you? Johnny wouldn't mind.
I do not like your Johnny.
Oh, he's a good boy.
He's got pimples and smells of compost.
He's just 16. He can't help the pimples.
He could bathe.
It isn't such a dreadful thing to be a queen of England. Not all eyes will weep for you.
Will yours?
I don't know.
As far as the set goes, this is a different process, and I never know exactly how it's going to get done. I put out some messages and I say, okay, we're going to be here on this day. This is what needs to be done. We have certain people that we can count on all the time to build sets. But for the most part, it's just one of those organic processes that takes place, you know. All of the work that I did for years at the high school, there's got to be some practical payoff, because not everybody has left this area.
I started going to college, and I kind of got away from it a little bit. And then one day I just, I kind of thought, man, it's been a while since I've done a play. I haven't done anything for a while. I miss it, and I got to thinking more and more about it. So I called Jim and asked him, if anything was going on. And they were getting ready to do the line in winter. So I called Mr. Walker, and this is actually the first play I've done since, it's been almost 2 years since I've done a play. And it's amazing. It's every time. It's just a feeling,
The landmark, it just helps you out, well, me personally entirely, because, I got Kyle, one of my friends, and Kristen, one of my friends, and everybody just saying, wow, you're going to do great and it's going to help and everything. And I mean, you're in the paper. If you get publicity here for more than 2 weeks, then you're the town's playboy.
So the people that you see in the line in winter, a lot of these young people, a couple of them are on the board, and eventually they're going to have to be here, and they're going to have to, and they've already taken ownership, but I don't think they understand quite what it means. But as they work here and as they are in plays, and their passion for it, I think, is going to sort of lock in and take hold. That's what I hope. So in 10 years, they're the ones that are going to be, dealing with the leaky roof or the, whatever happens to be going on here at that time.
From someone who serves on the Landmark board, the first thing I'd like to see is the roof fixed. I mean, we have so many things going right now. I hope that it continues to grow. Each year we have an annual taste of the Landmark, and each year it's gotten bigger. And I would like to see the entire season do that. Each year get a little bigger.
I'd never touched a stage until I was 35 years old. I had no training. So it's provided so many things, but one of the things it provided for me was validation that I could really do something that I had no clue that I could do. And I think that's the thing that I tried to pass on to a lot of those kids sitting in my classroom who just seemed kind of lost. It was like, in fact, one of them is in this play, Richard. And a perfect example of a kid who almost dropped out of school.
Now it's given me a sense of belonging, because in my personal life I've had a lot of ups and downs.
If there's going to be any arts in our lives, it's going to happen, I think, right here in the areas that we as a community create for our children, for those who still can remember. And I have that fear that there will someday be those who don't remember if we don't keep it in front of their faces. And that's what I try to do here, I think, is to just keep, whether it's comedy or drama or something from the 16th century or Sam Shepard or Christopher Durang or whatever it may be, the history of theater, it needs to be right here in front of people. At least they can come if they want to.
With Sutton being a small town, without the theater, I don't think I would be nearly as happy. But it gives you this sense of accomplishment, sense of belonging. It's a very tight-knit group of friends who serve on the Landmark board and who do these productions. And every detail from the set to the costumes comes through this network. And it's good. I feel like it's made some of my best friends that I will ever have come through this Landmark.
It's wonderful. It's changed. Theater is amazing. To come in here and to look out in the crowd, and a lot of which people that people that I've seen here in Sutton are in the community and have grown up around are there, and then there are people that you don't know. And to come out on stage, it's a feeling for me. It's whenever the audience laughs or smiles, or whenever it's so quiet in here, you can hear a pin drop because everybody's just listening. It's just an amazing, amazing feeling.
Most of them will walk away tonight saying, wow, I didn't realize that this was going on. And there it is, that's why we do it. That's one of the reasons I do it. It's because that wow factor needs to stay in their lives, and it's going to be here anytime they want to come.
I would like to see this really take off. We have a youth program that's going right now, and I hope that that continues to grow. Theater did a lot for my self-esteem, for how I saw myself and how I fit in with a crowd when I was young. And I want that experience for the Braxton County youth. I want that to continue.
I've had a lot of students get scholarships or go on and major in theater, and you see that full circle, then, hey, what more could a guy ask for? I mean, you know, when they walk in here and I see them after 10 years and, you know, they're doing well, that's enough, you know, that's what it's all about.